So the Professional Football Writers Association, we have, local chapter presidents, a very important job. Anyway, we take a vote in every city every year, just like for the player who most helps us facilitate our jobs and do what we need to do, cooperative, et cetera, and actually the poll of the room said that you are our winner this year. So we want to just recognize that, tell you, really the criteria is basically, are you available, are you helpful to us? And I think this year in particular, I think you really took a role, took a serious role to kind of be a spokesperson in really tough times. Yeah. And I think that's important, because I think the fans want to hear that. So just want to say thank you for that.
I guess as obviously the news is out regarding Shane and Chris coming back, it provides clarity for you guys and early. What does that mean? You got Shane back as your coach.
No, it means a lot. You know what I mean? Obviously, things haven't gone the way we wanted the past couple of years, but I feel like Shane has been great for us. In establishing everything he's the standard and everything, and all that the past couple of years, and we just fell short. You know what I mean? A couple times. Past 2 years, and he has a direction that he wants to go with this team, and everybody needs to be on the same on the same page. Him and Ballard on the same page, and we just got to do some things this off season, and I know they're going to do some things this off season that'll better this football team.
What do you think sticks out about Shane's leadership that has you super confident?
He's willing to make the tough decisions. You know what I'm saying? For the betterment of the team, and I think we've seen that throughout the season. That's what gives me a lot of confidence in him. Being able to make those tough decisions and those some of those unpopular decisions.
Like you mentioned, the frustration of feeling so close but so far. I guess how did that weigh on you? And do you give yourself time to get away from this at all, or?
Definitely some time away. Some time away with the family and being able to, like I've mentioned before, some self-reflection and how I can be, a better player, teammate, leader, and with the things that I can do and control to help better this football team and help be of better service to my teammates.
Defensively, just what do you think? What do you think was missing this year? And was there a step back at all, or do you think it just fell short?
I think it's definitely a step back defensively for sure. Since I've been here, since I've been a Colt, this has been our worst year defensively for sure. And I felt like at times it was just. At times I felt like we were just a bunch of individuals out there, and it looked like it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to shy away from it and take ownership of it. And just at times I feel like there was just a bunch of individuals out there playing football. You know what I mean? It didn't look like a unit out there at times, and it showed. And the times where we did play as a unit, we did some good things. And looking back at the schedule on the year, the season. When we played some really good offenses, you saw glimpses of us playing at a high level and playing as a defense. And then we played some offenses that weren't very good, and all of a sudden it was like, what happened to the defense the week before? You know what I mean? There was no consistency, no camaraderie defensively, and I take part ownership of that. You know what I mean? I'm one of the leaders on the defensive side, and that's one of those things where I have to look back at how I can be better as a leader.
How do you think that happens when you had so many guys that are familiar with each other, same coaching staff, so much continuity?
I'm setting in with the beat.
How do you think that happens? Where what you were saying about not feeling like you guys were playing together. When you had so many guys who played together before.
I felt like ego. There's times where ego gets in the way, and I feel like, especially in our business, playing in the NFL at a high level and as a team, everybody needs to check their ego at the door when they come in. You know what I'm saying? We all have them. You know what I'm saying? Especially as men in that locker room, we all have egos. But the great teams, those guys, they sacrifice that ego and check it at the door.
And you saw it. You could feel it.
You feel it. You can see it on tape. You know what I'm saying? That it was a consistent problem. it wasn't just one guy, it was, you know, a lot of guys, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I take part ownership of that, and, you know, in serving a better, you know, a much better way next year.
What do you think it was, I guess, why do you think it festered? Obviously, it's something you don't bring up in week 18, so I think it just kind of held on for the entire season.
No, I mean, it's not like we haven't, you know, called things out throughout the season. You know what I'm saying? I feel like as leaders in the locker room, you know, we've you know, held guys, you know, holding guys accountable, and one of those things. I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, you can't ask any of my teammates that I do on a weekly basis. So, you know, it's just. I mean, we just got to do a better job with, you know, eliminating that stuff, you know, and I feel like it just got away.
Do you think there was enough personal accountability from the players wise? Because we talked to Gus, and he was obviously owning his share of everything.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too. You know, you can hold guys accountable and all this, but part of it is taking ownership and, you know, taking that personal accountability. You know what I mean? You can call guys out. You can take ownership of your own stuff, but I mean, you know, you can't force someone to take ownership of their own stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we need to do a better job.
I feel like it all with the continuity and bringing everyone back. Is there a sense of comfort or complacency that can come with that lead to some of this?
Definitely. I think there's definitely some comfortability. You know what I mean? You know, in the building, and yeah, we just, you know, we got to have more competition. You know what I mean? In all aspects of, you know, in the building, and I feel like guys get complacent for sure. You know what I mean? And you just gotta continue to have people on edge. You know what I'm saying? To compete. And I mean, you just look at one of the competitions this year, which was, I thought it was great to see from a development standpoint, and just to see for the guy himself. I mean, look at AP. You know, they drafted AD this year in the second round, and you know, you just saw this year AP's game just elevate. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've all seen the glimpses and the potential that he's had, and I mean, he was able to muster up one of his best seasons yet. You know what I'm saying? And you know, just seeing his development as a player, seeing the competition. You know what I mean? He rose to the competition and started off in training camp. You know what I mean? And OTAs, and seeing the year that he had. I mean, it was awesome to see, and I was very happy for him. You know what I mean? I had a little incentive for him too. I told AP, I was like, I'll buy you an AP if you get 1,000 yards this season, and he was a little short of that. So I mean, it was one of my incentives to him, and yeah, watch, yeah. So I mean, it was just fun to see him compete out there. You know what I mean? And taking advantage of the opportunities and some of the, you know, he wasn't targeted a lot in some games, but he made some, you know, some games he had like three receptions for like 125 yards. You know what I mean? And so it was fun to watch him play.
Does that offer carry over to next year?
No, so it was actually the offer was the year before, and then I carried it on this year. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep making that offer until he gets 1,000 yards.
Do you think you'll find yourself kind of staying on top of guys through the off season, or is that just up to them to kind of hold themselves accountable?
No, yeah, I mean, you know, I'll be checking in with guys and seeing how they're doing throughout the off season. I think we all just need a breather a little bit, you know what I mean, to get away and kind of hit that reset button. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, definitely gonna be checking in on my guys and seeing how everybody's doing. But you know, when we check in for OTAs and everything, you know what I mean, that's when it all starts.
Well, what's the difference between like leadership and hand-holding? I know you mentioned.
Yeah,
you
like,
check you address that, but like, what's the balance there when you know this person coming out?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a fine balance between, you know, keeping guys, you know, holding the guys accountable and babysitting. You know what I mean? I mean, I got my own kids. You know what I mean? I'm not here to babysit nobody. And you know, I let the guys know, like, it's, you know what I mean? I'll mention some stuff here and there, but I'm not going to be the continuous, you know, harping you in your ear, nagging you. You know what I'm saying? That's not my job. And so, you know, like I said, to a certain extent, I mean, you got to learn to take ownership of your own, you know, your own actions, and take accountability and ownership in all the things that you do on and off the field.
You mentioned
one thing away from the defense. We talked to Pitt today, and he said he played for the most part with a fracture in his back.
Mm-hmm.
Does that show you the commitment that maybe players need?
Oh, I mean, 100%. I mean, if Michael Pittman can go out there with a fractured back majority of the season, and I told him too from the jump. I was like, man, he a tough son of a bitch. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, Pitt is what it means to, you know, he's one of those guys you fight for and you continue to play for. You know what I mean? Like, he's willing to go out there with a fractured back majority of the season, almost standing the whole entire season. You know what I mean? You think of guys like that, and you go out there and you got a little nicks and dings. You're like, man, Pitt's out here with a bad back, dude. Like, I gotta do more. I gotta do my part. So, yeah, I mean, that's the type of commitment that I would love to see.
You mentioned like the competition in particular, because I have been wondering about that too. I mean, they brought back the entire starting lineup. Some of the things you expressed to us, do you express those things in the building, like to Chris or whoever?
I mean, I have some conversations that we're going to get into today in the next couple of days. So those are some of the things I'm going to mention for sure in our conversation. Yeah.
Okay.
But how do you fight
Last one.
complacency or comfortability, whatever, when you had success and you feel like you perhaps arrived, like you've had success in these things, so how do you fight that personally?
I mean, I always think like nobody cares what you did last year. You know what I mean? It's what have you done for me lately, league? And you know, it doesn't matter what you did the week before. You know what I mean? You have to show up each and every week, and that's how I approach. You know, that's how I approach the game. That's how I approach my job personally, and I mean, I feel like, you know, it's just one of those things where even like throughout high school, college, or whatever, I've always just held in high regard of my mentality and not never being satisfied and continuing to compete at a high level. You know, because I don't ever want my job to be at risk.